First of all, the mayor is in the community. He's close to the ground.
You know, we see the impacts of problems every day as mayors, and that makes us different than just about every level of government.
3/4 of the mayors in North Carolina can't vote on their own councils, but there's no doubt that they have the lead position from a representative of the city and of the ability to lobby.
They are in the position to be able to come forward as the face and voice of their city.
This is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm seeing. This is what our people are feeling.
The context by which we all started was a context of frustration with the current system in Raleigh.
The fact that cities in North Carolina were beginning to take on true city form, function, and problem was not apparent to most people.
There weren't that many large cities in North Carolina in the 60s and 70s, and it kind of grew up.
As we crossed over in North Carolina to a metro state, we began to realize and we began to hear and understand the issues that go with being a metro state.
We all realized that we had mutual concerns that we needed to work together on.
There are some unique issues that are relevant to larger urban areas, and we need to work together and quit treating each other as competitors and start treating each other as teammates.
And so we banded together.
We rounded up 10, 12 reasonably large city mayors, and we got it started.
Several of us said, you know, we've got to take it another step.
Formalize the relationship, give it a different name, and have it be a group that could effectively coalesce around issues that were of significance to cities.
And I think that's how the Metro Coalition was born. We realized that if we worked together, we could get a lot more leverage in the legislature through the media.
There needs to be a voice. And I think when you come together such as the coalition has done, it makes that voice even stronger.
We're not here representing a small organization. We're here representing some serious population.
When we are needed in Raleigh, we drop whatever we're doing and we are there. And we're there together. And I think really that's our strength.
One of the first big issues we had was when Governor Easley decided to withhold the utility franchise tax from being returned to the cities.
That was a real blow to municipal budgets.
In the case of Winston-Salem, it was $8.2 million.
It meant a $2 million loss for us.
Put us in a huge, huge hole.
And we said, wait a minute, that's our money, not your money.
And I remember literally marching up the driveway of the governor's mansion and knocking on the door and saying, you've got to listen to us.
I remember meeting in a room and he looked out the window and he said, there is more media outside than I have ever seen for anything I have done since I've been in office.
I remember walking out of that meeting and the mansion was surrounded by TV, vehicles and trucks from virtually every market in the state.
We had a mobilization, large one, of media, and there we stood representing somewhere in the neighborhood of, I think, 2 million citizens. And let me tell you, we got the governor's attention.
I think it was quite unique for state government at the time to have all these mayors, Republican and Democrat, large cities, mid-sized cities, coming together and saying, you will meet with us, you will listen to us, and we promise to respect you during that process.
So I think that was the beginning of this motley group that has turned out to be quite a legislative wonder.
If you look at effectiveness, you measure it by what your goals are. And I think given the goals that the coalition has set out to accomplish, I think we've been very effective.
We helped push through, for instance, the tax increment financing bill, which had been turned down twice before, and we threw our weight behind it, and I think, in my opinion, we played a key role in getting that done.
During this time period, the crime problem was very, very serious.
We put together, there was a joint session of the governor was there, the lieutenant governor was there, I think the head of the prison system was there, the head of the court system was there, the police chiefs from all the metro areas were at a summit that we had, and the metro mayors organized that.
I can remember, for example, just in the last 6 or 7 months, going to Raleigh with a bipartisan group of mayors from large cities in our area to fight to keep high-speed rail funding in place. It's another example of how we've worked together as mayors.
Now, as one city, I don't think we could have accomplished what we did.
When all of us stood together, we started getting leverage. So it took a while for not only our communities, but the legislature to understand who we were and what we were about. But then it didn't take more than a year or two for people to actually know us by name.
Acceptance was probably our biggest accomplishment.
We're starting to see a sea change in Raleigh and across the state and how those issues are handled. So the coalition's had a huge impact on that.
I don't think there's any question that members of the General Assembly have a great deal of respect for the fact that the mayors of our larger cities are dealing with issues that are not necessarily the same as issues in other parts of North Carolina, and certainly not the same necessarily as issues that the General Assembly is dealing with. And so that background that the mayors bring to us is something that provides us with perspective that I value, and I think the other members do as well.
They put a face on the various municipalities. We want it to be a productive relationship that does what we all want to do, and we want to make North Carolina, the cities in it, and this state to be the place where everybody wants to live.
We're all good friends, and we're all going through a lot of the same issues and pressures.
And it was amazing the friendships that were created, which in my opinion cemented the entire coalition.
The mayors across North Carolina, many of them become some of my closest friends, I think, because we are in the trenches together, facing similar situations.
We've gotten to be really good friends. And we are able to pick up our cell phone and call any of the other mayors at any time.
So it gives us an opportunity to exchange views, to find out what works in one municipality. It might also work in your municipality.
It's really been a mentoring kind of relationship.
We've had the wonderful advantage of learning from the larger cities.
Certainly me as a new mayor 4 years ago to get involved in this and be a part of it, so I could come back into my own community and say, I've met with mayors across the state, and while these issues may seem like it's a local issue, we're all dealing with it.
And certainly for me personally, just to be able to perhaps commiserate about the role of the mayor occasionally, and to back everybody up and say, hey, this is going to be okay.
Probably the most important thing that happened to me in the last 10 years was when we had a horrible tragedy here in Salisbury. It was in 2008, and we had 2 of our firefighters killed in a large fire here.
We have all the best equipment in the world to protect our firefighters, our police officers, and our other workers, but sometimes it's not enough.
It was just devastating for our city. It continues to be. But as I sat by myself here in my office, waiting to go downstairs to face a press conference with a room full of media from all over the state of North Carolina, my phone rang, and it was Pat McCrory from Charlotte. And he had just been through a terrible tragedy in Charlotte where a police officer was killed. And he knew exactly what I was going through. And it just really meant so much to me that he would call me and just say, what can I do? I'd like to tell you about what I went through.
And those are the kinds of relationships that we've built in this organization. We all rallied around her to share our grief for the loss that she'd had in her city. So there's a support system there that's very, very special in the fact that it wasn't really orchestrated. It's happened through the relationships that we built, appreciating each other for who we are.
I was amazed when I got involved and I saw the character and the quality of the mayors of all of these different cities, and all dedicated, extremely dedicated, and willing to come together and help each other.
Some of the most outstanding people I have ever met are the mayors in North Carolina.
There's such a great group of mayors leading cities across North Carolina, and I've enjoyed getting to know every single one of them.
They are dedicated to their cities. They love their cities. They're excited about what they do. They're passionate about what they do. And I think that's what pulls us together. And what is the real camaraderie for us is we share that kind of passion. And it's very exciting to find people that feel like that about a city.
It's become a sustainable organization where new mayors that I haven't met yet are still working together on behalf of their cities, recognizing that we're not competitors against each other. We have to work as a team.
It's been a lesson learned in knowing that you could be a whimpering voice in the darkness, or you could be a rallying cry. And so none of us is as smart as all of us, so we're plodding along, and after 10 years, I feel great about where we are.
It is vital that this group stay together.
Well, you know, the census this year has officially declared North Carolina an urban state.
The real economic engine of North Carolina is the cities.